Hey y'all, it's NiqueNextDoor. Welcome back to my channel. For today, I have another video for you guys. I decided I'm gonna do a life update just because I have not posted content since Christmas? Yeah, so make sure you follow me. I'll put my social somewhere over here, but if you want to know what I've been doing, where I've been at, what I've been up to, please continue to watch this video expeditiously. My last upload, I believe, was my Christmas video, if I'm not mistaken, because it's been a little bit of a minute. But after Christmas, you know, I've just kind of been at work every day. Literally, that's where I've been, at work every single day. I only get 2 days off, you know, which to some people who also work a lot, they might not get as much days off, or they might only get maybe 1 day out of the week off. But I've been working a lot and I haven't really fit time into my schedule to make another upload. But now that I have some free time, I was like, you know what, let me give the girls what they want, because I know y'all miss me and I miss y'all too. Mwah. That's just where I've been at physically. But mentally, after Christmas, I just decided to kind of take a break. Not really a hiatus, because I'm still active on Instagram. I kind of went on like a little mini break on YouTube. My last video was my Christmas video, but I just kind of wanted to live into reality and not really put my time into social media too much. Around Christmas, we had, I think I mentioned this in that video, there was a university shooting right by my job, and I was very startled by that. And then recently we had a fight in my store, and I'm just like, what is going on, you know? But specifically after the Brown University situation, it just kind of made me appreciate life a little bit more and just kind of take a step back and just realize, like, I'm a conscious human being who, you know, is thinking, and, you know, who has a understanding of reality, and who has ideologies, and at any given point all of that can be gone. So I kind of overthink a little bit, so that's why I took a step back. But I'm back. I didn't leave for good, don't worry, I didn't leave. I just kind of, you know, took a little break, but I'm back, so come here. I also mentioned in prior videos before this one that I am, you know, in my moving process, and moving takes some time. It does. There were houses that me and my family moved in where it was quick. We got in the house, and then by 2 days everything was already set up. The couch was set up, kitchen table was set up, all the furniture was in the house, my room was decorated, like all of that. Like, yeah, but this moving process is taking a little bit more time, and that's okay. I'd rather it to take time and actually work and, you know, be sustainable, rather than rushing into something that's not really for me. So yeah, I'm still in my moving process, but I am very grateful for where I'm at. Just a plethora of different aspects in my life, you know, just, yeah. And I'll get into all that today, but more specifically with like the moving process, it's going good. I heard some good news. I'm not gonna speak too much about it on social media, just because I mentioned in past videos, every time I talk about something or bring something, you know, up to other people or to social media, it never goes the way how I want it to. My bad. I'm looking at the birds in the tree, that's why I keep looking in that area. My bad. Contact. I need to engage eye contact. Sorry. But what was I talking? Oh, moving process, right? Yeah, everything's going good. As far as schooling is going good. If you guys don't know, I am a college student. I'm pretty sure most of you guys know, but yes, I am a college student, and spring classes start soon, so I will be registering for that. My major is early child development. I'm not sure if I mentioned that before on my channel. I'm pretty sure I did, but I don't really remember. But if you guys were wondering, my major is early child development, which is the growth or the understanding of cognitive growth and physical growth in children. So learning how they think, how they walk, either progress from preschool to elementary, and then elementary to middle school, and then, yeah, it's really just like the early stages, so like pre-K to elementary. But, you know, the more I go into my major, I'll learn, you know, more of the other stages. But because I'm in the first few stages, I'm learning about the early parts of it. But yeah, outside of school, I'm a manager at my store, and managing is something that is very complex. It's a complex experience because in a way I'm always grateful for the opportunities that I have and that are presented to me and that I have encountered. However, being a manager, this is the most that I've ever had to be assertive at work. Outside of work in my personal life, I'm always clocking T or whatever you call it. I'm always calling someone out for something if it's necessary. I don't just be picking on people. I don't want y'all to think I just be like, oh, you said this, so da da da. Like, no. When the time comes, if it's needed, yes, I will address something. I am assertive outside of work, but in work, I never had to be like, okay, so you said this, but you're not doing this. Or I never had to be assertive at work or like address problems or to advocate for the people around me, because before I was a manager, when I was just an associate, things weren't like that. You know, my role was different. I was in different positions, so I didn't have to speak up with certain topics or like scheduling or, you know, till counting or whatever the case may be. I never had to necessarily speak on those things before because I wasn't a manager.
Essentially, what I'm saying is I got along with everybody that I used to work with, so I didn't have to like come at anyone or quote unquote check anyone because I got along with my old team.
But now that I find myself having to speak up a lot more, and especially because I am the youngest manager. Sometimes I do see where age can play a role in positions like that, whether it's school or work. Sometimes people don't really see you for the title that you have. Sometimes people see you for your age. And because I'm nearly 20 this year, I'll be 20 in June, and everybody else at my job is older than me, except for the associates. All the associates are high schoolers, but in terms of management, I'm the youngest manager. And, you know, sometimes people kind of see you for your age and not really what you present to the table. And I have been making that very clear. My boundaries will not be overstepped. I will not be taking advantage of. And this was all laid on the table before I even took up being a manager, like the managerial role. This was already something that I had put out on the table. This is what will be acceptable. This is what will not be acceptable. And we kind of work together cohesively to make sure that we're all on the same page. It's not perfect, but at the end of the day, I make sure that I do what I need to do at my job to benefit, one, myself, but two, the store as a company. So I think I'm doing my big one. I haven't had no complaints. No one has ever called me. The DM has never called me. The regional manager has not called me and, you know, said, oh, Jamaris, you're not doing what you need to do. You're lacking in this area, or you're not meeting the criteria in this, blah, 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 blah. I've never had any complaints. I've been at my job for 2 years now, and I've never had any complaints. And I've been on both ends of the spectrum. Last year I was an associate. This year I came back as a manager. So when the associates have questions like, hey, I would like to work more hours, or hey, I would like to work less hours, or hey, I might need to call off because I have to take care of a sick family member, or whatever the case may be, I'm always understanding because I was once an associate too. So I understand, you know, everyone's perspective. And even if I wasn't an associate and if I just came in as a manager alone, I'm still the kind of person where I'm very mindful and I put myself in other people's shoes. Sorry, my throat is a little bit dry. I've been kind of talking too much already, but I have to drink some water. But I put myself in other people's shoes where I'm able to understand their perspective. I put myself in other people's shoes and I allow myself to understand what they're going through or why they might need help or advocacy or aid in that particular area. So yeah, I don't really get into too much specifics about my job, especially on YouTube. On Instagram, I'm a little bit more chatty about like certain events that happen at my job, or like, you know, if a customer comes in, a funny story happens. I'm more interactive about my job on Instagram, but not really on YouTube. And I know that YouTube, it's a whole other setting from my Instagram account. And, you know, so there's other people who don't know who I am, who are probably just now seeing me for the first time, or that I've never went to school with. And so this is just me getting a bit more vulnerable about who I am or what it is that I do, or just my brand, you know? So yeah, I've been spending time with my family a lot, especially around the holidays. You know, I'm always around them, and I see it as my family reflects a lot of the kind of person that you guys see before you. I feel like the way how I was brought up with certain norms or certain ideologies is because of the way how I was raised and the kind of things that my family endorsed in, you know. And I grew up around a lot of women who kind of geared me in the way of being independent, not relying on anybody. My mom has not relied on a single soul. My mom has never ever put herself in a position where she had to rely on the next person. So I think, which I will also get into this a little bit later in the video, but I think that's why I'm so like, not high standard, but I'm high maintenance, and I'm very independent, and I'm an intellectual. And that's because I seen a lot of the circumstances that my mom was in, and a lot of the circumstances that she didn't allow herself to be in. And so that's kind of where I get my like high class femininity from. A lot of people think I'm like uppity or like high sedity. It's not even any of that. It's just more of the way I was brought up. I grew up around a lot of strong, independent Black women, and they taught me a lot of things to stay away from, a lot of things to promote. And so that's just kind of where I get my vibe from. But as of today, my family is good. I was talking to my mom earlier today. I saw my siblings. I was taking pictures with them. They're so cute. My relationship, that's my babe. That's literally my best friend. And our relationship is very tight-knit because we're a lot alike. And I surround myself with people that I'm very, that I have a lot of commonalities with. You'll never see me being so close to someone who is the complete opposite of me. Like, we don't have the same understandings, we don't have the same standards, we don't, like, no, you'll never really see me interact or be so close with someone who is completely different from me and who doesn't carry things the way how I carry them. So me and my baby, we are a lot alike. I love him so much. He's doing his big one. He's amazing. And it's crazy that we're so young and we've came so far together. We came so far in our individual lives in terms of like school and work, because he's also in school too. We go to the same college, and he also works as well. And we just both, like, we pour into each other, but we pour into each other to where it's the right amount. You know, like, I don't overpour and he doesn't overpour. And we both understand that, yes, we are in a relationship, but there also needs to be individuality where you need to take care of yourself too. I need to take care of myself too. A lot of the times in relationships, sometimes you can pour into someone too much where you kind of forget about yourself. And then what if you break up with that person? Are you going to know how to pick yourself back up? Are you going to know how to like start over again with somebody new, or relearning all the toxic things that you learned? Are you going to be able to function in a world without that person around you? And so the way how my relationship is that me and my babe, we talk a lot about a lot of different topics, even about situations that we would never even be in. It's just, I have a curious mind, and so does he, and we like to make sure that if we were in those circumstances that we would be on the same page. Like, I'm always asking him, would you love me if I was a worm? And he'll answer me, and I want to know, even though like it's a stupid question, but I want to know why. Like, what about me makes you love me, even if I wasn't me, even if I was like a roach or something, or like something? What makes you love me? And it's deep questions like that that me and him have a lot, and that's what keeps us like this. Like, we are not going nowhere. That's my babe. 3 years down, a lifetime to go, and I love him. He's everything. He's my everything. He's an amazing person, very hardworking. We're a lot alike. So the way how y'all see me is spit image of me, because we spent so much time together, and even before we met, we just kind of clicked, like, quickly. Next, I wanted to get into the topic of friendships, losing and gaining, because I've been on both ends of the spectrum, especially this past year, or these past 2 years. I've kind of juggled between different friendships, different kinds of people, and I just kind of wanted to reflect on the positive and the negative, what I picked up and what I kind of just left there. So after high school, my life kind of changed a lot of opportunities, but there were some disadvantages as well. After high school is when I kind of like fell back, and I didn't really have the friends that I had anymore. And it was already bad enough that in high school I only had like 4 friends, and we were all a group. So when it was me and my clique, it was me and my clique. I wasn't friends with nobody else. It was just me and the girls. Those are the girls. And after high school, the clique kind of just fell apart. One of the people that was in that group is my cousin, so she's not going nowhere. That's my blood cousin. Like, she's not going nowhere. But aside from my cousin, like the other people that we was friends with in that group, it just kind of fell apart. And it's not that anything messy happened between me and them. It's just sometimes you kind of grow apart from people. And at the time, I didn't really understand it in that way. I just kind of like, oh, like me and this person were not friends. I don't understand what I did wrong. Like, I took things personally in a sense, because I made sure that I was always a good friend, and I still always make sure that I'm a good person regardless of who you are. I always make sure that I'm the kind of person where I'm very understanding and I'm very flexible with people. I work with everybody. I try to make things as easygoing as possible, but also in that moment I kind of took it personally, because it's like, did I do something wrong? Did I make you feel the same way? Did I hurt your feelings? What was it that I did to make you feel like, damn, I don't want to be around you anymore, or that I don't want to be friends with you anymore? That's kind of how I was taking it after high school, because of how close the friend group that I had was. But a few months went by and I kind of started to reflect on it, and I'm thinking, it's not that I did anything wrong to these people. It's just sometimes people change. Sometimes people might see it as you're not bringing them what it is that they might need, you know? And sometimes people want a yes man. I'm sorry, I'm not a yes man. If you do something that I don't agree with, I'm not going to shame you. I'm not going to judge you, but I'm also not going to enable that kind of behavior either. And I'm not saying that the friends that I had did anything, like, no, it wasn't anything like that. I'm just kind of speaking on more of like the general, but there are a lot of different reasons why people kind of distance themselves from you or stop talking to you. And that doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. It just means that that person might want space. That person might want things to be differently for them. At the time, after high school, I wasn't really seeing it like that. I was more so taking it like, I don't understand what I did wrong. I didn't do anything. What happened? Now it's more like, okay, I get it. And I get it a little bit more now, because that's where I'm at in my life, you know? And I kind of took a break. I kind of stepped back from, not really social media, but I kind of stepped back from a lot of people. Not that they did anything wrong to me, because no one did anything wrong to me. It's just more of, sometimes people don't fit your interests the way that they used to. And I'm never the kind of person to use people for what they can give to me or for what I can get out of them. It's just sometimes you don't want to continue doing the same thing that you used to do. Like, for instance, I'm the kind of person now where I enjoy conversations and I enjoy meeting up, talking to people, you know, especially if we're friends. Hanging out somewhere, going somewhere, doing something, getting our nails done, getting our hair done, taking pictures of each other, hanging out, getting food together. I enjoy those things now because I'm comfortable talking to people and making friends. Back then, I was not comfortable making friends. I had a hard time engaging. I had a hard time socializing, so I was not used to making friends. The friends that I had was all that I was good with, because I was just afraid to make new people. I had bad social anxiety back in high school, and I was just very antisocial, and I was just kind of okay with whoever I had in my life at the moment, because I was just afraid to meet new people. But now that I'm older, it's been 2 years since high school, and I kind of appreciate those things more, of like hanging out, making friends, engaging in person, and just things of that nature. And so sometimes there will be situations where I felt like I wasn't getting that enough. I felt like I wasn't having girls' nights enough. I felt like I wasn't, you know, having self-care days with my friends enough, or like the people that I have met like after high school. And I feel like that's more needed for me now. I feel like, you know, yes, I work a lot, but also having self-care days is a reward to me, because I spend all my days working. I worked double yesterday. And I don't always get the advantage to just sit at home all day, or to just ride around in a car all day, or to just run errands all day. I don't get the opportunity to do that because I'm always at work. All I honestly really do is just work and school when, you know, the semester starts. It's work and school with me, and then my family time. But I don't really get the advantage to have as much free time as everybody else has. And I noticed that a lot of the time, like a lot of the conversations that I had with some people it would just be like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you don't realize how good you have something until you hear the next person's story. And it's like, to me, it just kind of sounds a bit ungrateful a little bit. Now, this can be like in regards to whatever, but I'm just talking about in terms of like freedom and like not like your time isn't constricted. I've had conversations with people where they're like, oh, I have to do this today, I have to do that today. And it's like, yeah, but you're not at work, you're not at school, you don't have kids. I mean, I don't have kids either, but like, you don't have kids, you don't have anything to worry about, you don't really have any responsibilities, you're not paying rent, you're not paying gas bills, you're not paying light bills, you're not on the side of the street homeless, you're like, you have a roof over your head, clothes on your body, food on the table. What are you complaining for? Because for me, I spend most of my time at work. I get what, like 40 hours a week, 48 hours a week. I'm always at work. Most of my days are at work. That's why I haven't had enough time to really get on camera and record more content. But it's like, to me, it's kind of like, and I know maybe because like I said, sometimes I take things a little bit personal, or not even that I take it personal, but sometimes I just kind of overthink. But it's like, I'm telling you about how stressful my day was, that I worked a 12-hour shift and that I didn't get the chance to eat all day. I couldn't leave the store because I'm the only manager that was in. And you're telling me that you're having a stressful day because you had to go to Walmart or the grocery store or Target, and then you had to go take out the trash or whatever. And it's like, damn, like, I'm actually doing like hardcore heavy duty things and you're complaining because you have to run errands. And that can apply to any other situation. Like, you could probably be jobless right now and someone's probably complaining, like how I'm saying I work 12 hours a day. Somebody would love to work those 12 hours. You know what I'm saying? So the same kind of idea applies, is what I'm trying to say. The same way how I'm sitting here talking about, oh, I worked a double yesterday, I barely get time to do anything. The next person's probably looking at me like, Jamaris, I'm not working 12 hours. I would love to work 12 hours. I would love to have worked that double, or I would love to at least have a job, or I would love to at least be in the position that you're in. So yeah, if I make sense, because sometimes I kind of be rambling and I kind of lose track of what I was originally going for. But I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, I'm sorry, because sometimes I do be rambling. But yeah, just be grateful for what you have. Like, not everyone has free time to do some things, and some people probably want less free time. Some people probably want to do more, but they probably aren't able to do more. But I completely sidetracked. The original topic was about friendships. But yes, in short, I kind of just distanced myself. Not for any personal reasons. No one did anything to me. I'm not upset with anyone. I'm not mad at anyone. It's just, I kind of want to pivot my life into a different direction. And I feel like with some people, it's not really benefiting the route that I want to take. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. It's just, I kind of want to level myself in a different way. I kind of want to engage in different material and different subjects. And I kind of want to encounter different opportunities. And that's okay. That's perfectly okay. You don't have to subject yourself to things if it's not making you happy, or if it's not really bringing you where you want to be. And I understand that. And that's just kind of where I'm at in terms of friendships, self-distancing, and such of that nature. My next topic is affirmations, and I've always kind of closely connected to them because it's a way to keep me going, you know? And it's a way to kind of give me hope that tomorrow is another day and it could be better. So I have a few of my own affirmations written down. And I'm not going to show you guys what it says verbatim, but you know, you can kind of see. But I write a lot. I prioritize writing, and writing has just always kind of been my thing. I used to write poems. I used to write like odes. I used to always want to write a book. I don't know. I enjoy writing a lot. I appreciate literature. So yeah, I have this affirmations app where every day, you know, I think 3 times a day, it sends me notifications about affirmations. And I'll put a few of them like on the screen that I have screenshotted that I closely related to. And it just keeps me motivated. You know, everyone has their own thing that keeps them motivated. And affirmations is that one of the things that keeps me motivated. So yeah, next I kind of wanted to talk about some positive outlooks, or just where I kind of see myself in 2026. So I kind of want to focus more on fashion. Fashion has always been my thing way back since high school, freshman year, sophomore year. Fashion has always just been a way to express myself. And I mentioned this on my deep Q&A video before. But the reason why I dress up like extra, or like a lot of people see me as dressing up extra for high school, because I mean, at the end of the day, it is just high school. But when I started high school, it was 2020, prime COVID. Like, that's when COVID had just hit and we couldn't go outside. The only place I could really go to was Walmart. So I kind of dressed up because I didn't have anywhere else to go to show off my outfits. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna just come to school with my outfits. But because I was so used to being like talking on Zoom calls, like in my classes, or like texting and FaceTiming with the friends that I had, I kind of forgot how to act around people, like physical people around me, like being in a room with people or being in a classroom with people. I kind of forgot how to navigate through a social setting. So when I first started high school, I was a hybrid learner. It kind of put me in like a weird predicament. I kind of fell off in terms of like being vocal. So at that point, I was dressing up a lot to showcase my emotions or how I was feeling, or to just indicate the vibe that I was going for, or like it was just self-expression. And then in my freshman year, I dyed my hair honey blonde, and that's when I started rocking my natural hair. Before high school, I never used to wear my natural hair. I used to always do slick backs with a little clip-on ponytail in the back. I never used to wear my natural curls out. So I started to embrace myself a lot more, and my spiritual journey embarked during my high school career. That's when I started to really dive deep into who I am, what I like, the kind of person that I want to be, how I want to act, what do I want to reflect, what kind of caricature do I want to paint of myself. That's kind of where I was in my high school career, and fashion was the main thing of that, along with writing. Instead of talking, I would write about my feelings, and that's why I enjoy and I appreciate the art of literacy the way that I do. I'm a very in-depth person, and a lot of people don't really know these things about me, not unless I kind of put it in the forefront. And so that's why with some things about myself, I take very, very personally when I see it being showcased as like, oh, I can do the same thing that you're doing. I kind of take those things personally because there is an intricate story behind it. I don't wear these clothes just because I look good. I mean, I know I do, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it because I look good. I'm doing it because I'm representing the feelings that I have, and it's an art to me. The same thing with my hair. But some experiences that I've had, it was more of like, oh, you got this on, I'm gonna put that on too because it's cute and I just want to do it too. And for me, I took those things personally because I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm doing it because this is who I am. You're doing it because it looks cute and you just want to do the same thing. And so that's why with some things in my past, and this is me just reflecting, not to bring up anything old, but this is just me reflecting. But that's why within the past, year and a half, I took some things personally because this is who I am, and you're not really living in it. You're just kind of putting on a facade. And so, yeah. But that's where I'm at in terms of that topic. I forgot which topic that was. What was it? Positive outlook. Yeah. I see myself leaning more into fashion and aesthetics, and I learned to not really label myself on what aesthetic I am, because before I used to mainly just go by like Y2K, or like in the like winter time I would be Y2K, in the fall I would be streetwear, and in the summer I would be bohemian. I learned to stop labeling myself because at the end of the day, all of the whatever outfit I put together, it's a direct indication of who I am, how I feel, and the standard that I hold myself to. So I kind of just stopped labeling it as to like, oh, today I'm going to be this, today I'm going to be that. Because to me, this isn't, it's not dress up to me. Even though like, yes, it is because it's clothes. Like I'm literally dressing up. But to me, I take things deeper than that. And I always look for a deeper indication to things that relate to me or that revolve around me. Because hello, it's me, you know, and I kind of make things niche, and I kind of like click to my own things that I find interesting or that I heavily relate to. So yeah, another positive outlook is more money. I've been saving. I've been doing my big one. Like I said earlier, or not that long ago, I've been working a lot of hours. Every week I work a lot of hours, so my checks have been looking amazing. I'm not gonna get into that too much because one thing you don't do is tell anybody how much money you got. It don't matter who it is. You don't ever tell anybody how much money you got or how much money you make. Just know I make a good amount, and them checks be hitting. Okay, I do turn 20 this year, so I do plan on having an amazing birthday and just spending my day with all my loved ones, having fun, turning up, doing whatever it is that I gotta do, because you're only 21 time. And so you just live your life, do what you gotta do. And I'm not gonna speak too much on my birthday plans just because I still have what, like 5-6 months till my birthday comes. So I'll, get more into planning it for real later on. Maybe around like April. That's when I'll start like really diving deep into what it is that I want to do. But I learned to not get too comfortable about telling people or like telling the media my plans, because it just never went the way how I wanted it to go. And for me, overthinking things, I just always kind of thought that maybe it was people wishing bad on me. Like I'll tell someone something and maybe it's like they're probably not in the position to do those things. So it's like maybe they're wishing bad on you, or maybe, they don't want to see you doing better than them, or whatever the case may be. I overthink things, so I don't know. But that's why I address things as well before I assume, because I don't like to assume. Like if I'm going to have an idea in my head, I want to confirm it before I just run around thinking, oh, so this is what it was all along. Like, no. So yes, I always make sure I address things and I gain clarity before I just start thinking things out of the blue, because no, we don't do that. But yeah, I just got used to kind of just living in real life and not living for the media, and I've been practicing that a lot since I record YouTube videos and stuff. But yeah, just making sure that I'm clocked in right here, and just living and just making sure that I'm where I need to be in the best way possible. My last positive outlook is just, getting good grades for the upcoming semester during spring, and just making sure that I get the credits that I need, because I do need to get this degree and I'm trying to hurry it up, because I'm already in my second year. I got 2 more years left. I'm trying to hurry up to get this degree so that way I can do what I need to do to have the career that I would like to have. So yeah, good grades, of course, that's always like a number one, like New Year's resolution that everybody has. Like get good grades, go to school more, stay in attendance, stuff like that. Those are like the norms. But for me specifically, making sure I get them credits. So now I kind of wanted to introduce a new idea to my channel, which is I want to start switching my content. You guys know, if you guys have been like subscribing to me since way back, since like 2020 when I first started my channel, you guys know that my channel was based on making wigs or hair. That's really what my channel was going to be about. I wasn't going to extend my channel to any other content other than like hair related. And then that's when I had made my Instagram account for my hair. That was back in like 2020. But I kind of, all the videos that I had back then, I took them down just because the room that I had, it was very small and the lighting was bad. The phone that I had, it was like cracked on the front camera, so you couldn't, it was like a glare in the camera, and it just wasn't the best. So I took all those videos down and I waited 4 years until I restarted my channel. And when I started it, I rebranded it. My first video that's uploaded right now is a wig video, and then I just kept going from there. And then I would do vlogs, day in the lives. But I just kind of want to shift my content. Like I mentioned the last few segments ago, I'm not going to get into detail because every time I have an idea of something, it never goes the way I want to. So I'm not going to get into specifics, but just know I do have new content in mind, and just switching up my channel and rebranding myself and just living more into who is Nique. Who am I? Because yes, I'm Jamaris, but I'm also Nique as well. And who is that? Who is NiqueNextDoor? So this is me just falling more into living into the alter ego that I've created, Nique, which is my middle name. If you guys know, my middle name is Monique. But just kind of living more into that. And I think that this is a positive thing for me. And so because I'm looking more into rebranding myself, not just as a person, but as a small content creator, I kind of have been switching things up in my personal life too. So yeah, I've been on my big girl thing, so definitely expect a lot from me. This year, I really have been leaning into my young adulthood and embracing it, and just being more comfortable with nearly turning 20 and what that will be like for me. Because like I said, you only turn 20 once, so live it up while you can. But I've just been practicing financial stability. I've been practicing self-maintenance. I've been practicing a lot, just a lot of personal things, family routines, you know, hanging out with my mom and my siblings, spending time with them. Just a lot of different things that I have been pushing myself to continue to do as a young adult. And like I mentioned earlier today when I was talking about like school and work, another one of those things is being more assertive than I ever had to be. In my personal life, I've always been assertive. I always like clock T. I've always been a confrontational person outside of work, but at work I never had to be that way. So now that I'm a manager, I've been practicing more of that. And you know, yes, at my job there are age differences. There are high schoolers, then there's me, which is the young adult, and then everybody else is older, like out of their 20s, like already in their 30s and 40s. But at the end of the day, it's not about age, it's about mentality, and it's about what you can do and if you're good at your job. And I've had that talk with you guys before on a YouTube video. I had a talk with you guys where I was saying that it's not about age, it's about the way how you carry yourself. And I was saying that you can be 50 and you can still act like a child. You can still have a teenage mentality, because it's about what's up here. It's not about just because you're however old you are. It's never about that. Some people, when they grow older, they kind of keep the same ideas or the same norms or the same traditions, and they never really grow out of it. But for other people, as they get older, they pick up things along the way and their perspective might change. So every person you meet is different, but in terms, for me, age doesn't really define who you are as a person. It just gives you a timestamp of when you was born. That's honestly really it. And that's just how I see it. So yes, I've just been falling more comfortable with being a young adult, maintaining friendships and my relationship and my connections with my family, and just leading more into who I am as both Jamaris in my personal life and Nique on social media. In terms of my self views, or like how I see myself, I've always seen myself as that girl. Even when I was in middle school and when I wasn't like the idealistic baddie or whatever you want to call it, the way how I look now, I did not look like that back in middle school, but I never cared, because at the end of the day, I'm still me. Like, I could sit by myself every single day and not care that there's not anyone sitting next to me or talking to me, because I didn't care about those things. So that has never changed. I already knew who I was way back when. And so that's why when I would have certain conversations with people and I would be like, yeah, I kind of already had an idea, or like I had an understanding of who I was going to be since middle school. And those same people, they wouldn't know a damn thing about who they were or who they are at the moment. They wouldn't know who they are. They wouldn't even be able to tell you who they are from a mile away. And they would chime in like, oh, I've been knew who I was too, just to relate to me. And things like that I would notice it, but it would just be like, let's just be ourselves. Like, let's just fall into who we are, because I'm showing you who I am. Let's fall into who we are as individual people. And I appreciate individuality. Like, are you saying that you knew who you was to relate to me in that moment, and then later on saying that you didn't know who you was just because you're telling the truth now? I don't know. But regardless, yes, that part of me has never changed. I always kind of knew who I was, who I wanted to be, what I wanted to do, how I wanted to carry myself. I just kind of allowed myself the space to wait till the right time to be all those things. And, you know, some people live their lives completely different from me, and that is okay. But some people kind of rush things. Some people kind of rush being the baddie. And it's like, at that point in my life, I was 12 years old. I had no business worrying about being a baddie. Like, I was still playing with Barbie dolls. I was still eating kid cuisines. Like, I was not worried about being a baddie, because I knew my time would come. And that's the one thing that I, above all the other things about myself, but that is the one thing that I do appreciate about myself, is that I'm very humble, and I kind of just allow myself to wait until the time is right for things, you know? Like, when the time will come, it'll come. Like, I know that. Like, I know I'll be locked in. It's just, it's not my time yet. And, well, in terms of, like, that topic, it wasn't my time to be all grown and stuff and hunching and munching and doing all these grown things. It wasn't my time yet. And when it came, now look at me. I waited till I was 16. I met my bae. And, you know, we've been together for 3 years. And things are going good in my life. You just gotta wait. And this can go with in regards to whatever. You just have to wait until it's your time for things. A lot of people rush things, and a lot of people a lot of the time rush things that aren't even for them. Like, some people, they'll start a business because they saw the next person start a business, and they'll rush trying to start that business. Like, they'll rush the sales, they'll rush all this stuff, they'll rush the plan, the project, without even understanding, like, okay, maybe let me just calm down. Is this for me? One, is this for me? And two, how can I get my consumers to buy from me? You know, what's my audience? What's my target audience? And how am I going to create this product? A lot of people don't think like that because they see the next person doing it. So it's like, oh, I want to do it too. I have to have that too. And it's like, just slow down and consider it if this is who you are, if this is what you need, or if this is what you really want to do. You know, and I never really had problems with that because I just waited until it was my time. And if it's not, I'm not going to rush it. I was going to talk about how my self-views kind of progressed, but I realized that I already talked about that already. And I don't want to make this video redundant or repetitive. So I'm just going to leave wherever I left off about like my self-imagery and how positive I am, my affirmations, and, you know, where my, you know, self-imagery kind of started from, like, dressing up, you know, like having fashion as my expression, and like my hair. I'll leave that to where I had it in whatever segment that was in, just because I don't want to keep re-talking about the same thing that I already talked about. So yeah, one thing though that I do kind of want to get into detail about is social media versus reality, because that's kind of what I've been juggling in between since I kind of stopped, since my last video. And I've been allowing myself to live socially. Like, I've been allowing myself to, you know, make friendships at work. Not necessarily at work, but the people that are around my age, I have became close to. And it's crazy because 3-4 years ago, I would have never thought that I would be talking to people that I'd never seen before. Like, or like talking to coworkers or being friends with coworkers, because I never had the ability to do that. That was one thing that I did struggle with. But, you know, now I'm able to, you know, talk to those people whenever I can. They call me up. You know, I hang out this Thursday. We're gonna go get our toes done. And that's not someone that I work with. That's like another friend that I've made along the way. But I've just been progressing. Yeah, that's in terms of like my social life. But one thing that I always stood behind was that whatever you see other people doing, especially if it's on social media, you can't necessarily look at it and think, oh, I want to do the same thing, or oh, I wish I could do that, because you don't know what that person is going through or dealing with in their real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see how I'm sitting here talking to y'all. Y'all don't know what I could be going through, and God forbid any negative situation comes into my life, because I do not need that. But I'm just saying, I'm just speaking into an example that you don't know what the next person is going through. You know, you don't know how financially stable someone is or how mentally stable somebody is. And you're wasting your time idolizing people. And it's like, instead of idolizing people that you, one, don't even know, two, probably aren't even living their life as happily as they pertain to be on social media, you could take all that time and focus it onto you and build yourself up and make sure that you're happy. And a lot of people spend most of their time looking at other people on vacations, or, you know, on yachts or whatever, on jet skis, in private jets, flying coach, crying in a Rolls Royce. And they're thinking like, oh my God, I wish I had that. I wish I was doing that. And it's like, no, just get up and do it. Do what you got to do to get there. You can do it. You just need to put the effort into doing it. But they idolized the wrong thing in terms of materialism, or like toxic couples, or like Krishan and Blueface. Like, oh, that couple irritates me. And I'm pretty sure like deep down inside, they probably once were good people. But idolizing people like that, like, what are you doing? Like, have better role models, but also stop holding people as your idols. Stop seeing other people as like this like God thing, and like, oh my God, like just pour into yourself more. Learn how to build an identity and build a sense of individuality where you are not codependent, or you don't have to wait till someone else does something for you to jump on it and gain motivation. Like, oh wait, I can literally be the president. I can literally be a singer. I can be an actor. Why wait till someone else does something for you to want to be better, like a better version of yourself? Do it because you know that you can. Don't do it because you see that the next person, how far they got in their success with doing the same thing. Do it because you know that you have the conscious ability to do it. And that's how I move. And I've been moving like that about my life. But I just kind of want to advocate more for that, especially on my channel. I kind of want to promote individuality, in the sense that you don't have to wait for somebody to do something for you to do it. If you want to be the next Beyonce, go for it. Try it. You know, and even if you might not be as big as a celebrity, or as big as the next YouTuber, or as big as a model or whatever, still go for it, because it's not about that person's success. It's about your journey. So start doing that. And we should start talking about that collectively a little bit more. So yes, I will be promoting that more on my channel. Like a subtopic to this that I kind of want to throw in here before I end this video off. Specifically the part where I was talking about social media. There are people around me, around my age, who, or probably even like in different states, who are also doing social media to small content creators, but I have never looked at their content or their success and thought like, oh, they got this many likes, why didn't I get this many likes? Or, oh, they got this many subscribers, why I didn't get this many subscribers? I don't compare myself to other people. And I've came across a lot of people who do that, whether they compare themselves to me or compare themselves to like higher up people, like celebrities or someone else. Like, what I'm trying to say is, I've been around people who don't see the good in themselves, or they, not that they don't anymore, because maybe they found a sense of understanding of who they might be, but in the past they definitely didn't see themselves as someone who can be more. It was hard for me to support that. It was hard for me to kind of also pick those people back up and remind them every day, like, hey, you are an amazing person. Like, hey, you can do better. You just have to believe that you can do it, you know? So yeah, but as far as like other people doing the same things as me, or whatever it is you want to call it, wearing the same hairstyles, the same jewelry, the same clothes, I don't get offended by that, or I don't compare myself to that, because I'm doing these things for the sake of me. I'm doing these things because it makes me happy. I'm doing these things because I found a love for it. And I definitely do make my content because it's fun. I don't make YouTube videos because I'm looking for a check once I hit 1K subscribers. I started my YouTube channel because, one, I wanted to promote entrepreneurship, because I was looking in the route of being an entrepreneur. Specifically with hair, I wanted to open up a salon suite, but I was like, you know, I'm just go to college, get a degree, and actually do something with that, with the degree, not just like outside of college, you know. And I still can, because I have the power to do whatever it is that I want. I have the brains for it, I have the motivation, and I have the support, so I can do whatever it is that I want to do. But yeah, I don't know, I don't look at the next person's life and idolize what it is that I see, especially materialism, because a lot of the time it's not real. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that I got everything out there. I hope I specified. I'm just living my life, and I think we should all be living our lives. We shouldn't be worried about why this person didn't text, why this person didn't call. We shouldn't be worried about that. We should just be worried about being happy, pushing forth for ourselves. Put yourself in the center. And like I said, I do want to advocate for that more on my channel. Stop worrying about the next person, what the next person doing, why the next person didn't call you, why they didn't check up on you, where they're at, where they've been. If they wanted to, they would. That goes on a plethora of different things. This is just a new journey for me, a new route, spreading a new leaf, and I'm doing things differently. And yes, if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure you subscribe, and also make sure you follow me on my socials, and I will see you guys in my next one.